technique number 9 in the Purple Belt Kenpo Karate for Christ curriculum is calming the storm. So our first club attack for this level, and we're going to change the angle of attack. We've been using this kind of overhead, downward vertical, or angle 12. Now we're going to use like a high inward horizontal, what I refer to as an angle 3. Some systems will refer to this as an angle 1. Angle 1 usually being the diagonal line from your high right to your low left if you're the attacker, right? So coming at me, it would come this direction here. An angle, a horizontal there, or a diagonal kind of generate from the same vector that way, and then the angle that they produce doesn't change your response usually too much. So some systems, a 1 can be inward and flat, or it can be on that diagonal. The way I do the numerato, or the counting of the attacks of angles when I'm teaching the Filipino stuff, is I refer to this as a 3, right? 3, and then I'll do a reverse of the 3s going against that, and then a 4 coming horizontal across the waist, and the reverse of the 4 going outward that way. So, coming in, I'll refer to this as a high angle 3. It's a high inward horizontal strike with their right hand. So it'll be coming on this side, cutting across your head here, coming from the left in towards your face. Again, circular hit with a stick, right? They're using a stick because they want the advantage of range. So there's some distance that we either have to increase to get outside the range of the stick, or we have to decrease significantly if we're going to get past the stick to the person behind it. And in this case, that's exactly what we want to do. They're creating an arc. We want to move inside that arc because, again, inside the circle, it's not moving as quick as that outer point there of the stick itself. So if their target is your head and they're coming in flat, our first move is going to be a direct step into 12 o'clock with the right foot. And as we step into attack, we're going to use a very, very basic move that I'll teach in the first class. It's just a step and punch, same foot, same hand, or the step through punch. And I want that to go straight to the chin. Boom. At the same time, I can't ignore that arm's coming around. Even if I move, if I step big, and you have to do a big step, because one step with my arm and foot probably won't accommodate the amount of distance somebody can use with a stick, right? So you may have to almost leap a little bit with that step, almost like a big step with a slight push drag behind it, in order to really kind of jump in on someone wielding a stick, because they've got the advantage of range on you, and we've got to shortcut that range pretty quickly. So I'm almost jumping in there with that step through punch. At the same time, even if I can shortchange that range, that arm is still coming around. I hit them in the face, their arm still can collide with mine. If they're thinking fast enough, they can turn the weapon, and instead of using the long end, they can use the short end. Thrust that right into the side of my neck here, or the puño in. They can hit me with the handle of the stick. So I'm going to use my left hand too, comes up with a vertical outward block. Open hand, sword hand. All that together is step 1. I'm coming in. Alright, almost jumping in on them. Back a little bit here. Jumping in on them, and this is shielding that arm as it comes around here. Boom, while I hit straight to the chin. Now this technique, again, at this point, Kenpo's kind of drawing from things you've seen already. And you want to think of if you had to do alternating maces, right? All the way back to the second technique we ever did here in our yellow belt, where we cover, cross punch, and then back fist. That's just those 3 moves: front hand, back hand, front hand here in this alternating fashion. But you were using it for club attack, and that's kind of where you get calming the storm. It's like taking alternating maces and doing it for a club attack. So this inward club attack comes in. Here's my step 1 off the front side, and I'm covering here with the back hand this time. Step 2, I'm going to kind of smother down if I can, controlling that arm. I'm going to sweep down on the inside using the open palm, keep that arm checked so it's still controlled, and I'm going to punch over top of the arm. Middle mass, and again I'm using that vertical fist, just like in alternating maces with the left hand. So, step 1, big step in with the attack here, step through punch. I'm going to check, pivot to a forward bow, doing that cross punch, center mass. I'm going to still be checking his arm. Don't lose contact with that arm. And I'm going to come back with this outward hooking parry, using the back of my left hand, scooping back, still keeping contact the whole time here. It's also showing you how, once you make contact with the arm, keeping contact the whole time as my hands change. There. His weapon arm can't go unchecked this way. So while I'm attacking with one hand, I'm checking with the other, and then I'm switching sides here. So I'm stepping in, block and punch together, step one. Step two, I monitor it with the right while I hit with the left. I'm going to come back monitoring it, and again shifting from our forward bow back to neutral bow as I come back checking it with the back of the left arm here, back of the left wrist with this outward hooking parry. I'm going to do a low, kind of a hammering back fist strike into the abdomen there, right? And so that is your alternating maces. Instead of ending high with the back fist, we're ending low. Instead of it being a whipping back fist, it's more of a hammering type of action. Boom, really hitting through the abdomen. All together, step through, straight punch, twist, cross, hammering back fist. Now I don't want to leave him with the stick here. I'm going to come up onto the hand, and I want one hand palm down, the other one palm up, right? I'm going to push down on the, right at the wrist where the stick is, kind of press it down forward, while the other hand comes up against the wrist, kind of fulcring the stick in a way they can't hold it here against the thumb. There, I'm pulling down in the front with one hand, and the other hand's forcing the wrist to come up at the same time. And as I do that disarming motion, it should take the stick out of their hand. Be sure it doesn't, if you do it too hard and fast, it'll just kind of spin in space. You'll hit yourself with their stick, right? So it doesn't have to be a fast action, but also as I'm doing that, I want to be getting distance from them. So this motion here, this disarming, down with the left and up with the right, down on the stick, up on the hand, happens as I do that right step for my front cover out. I front cross, I'm grabbing the stick here, holding the weapon as I come back into my full cover out position, and then you've got their weapon here in your left neutral bow. So, again, calming the storms, that inward angle 3, right? Coming in on horizontal, I step in a punch, twist, punch, and check. I'm back with that hammering back fist. I'm coming down on the stick and up on the hand here, and doing my cover out, all at the same time. Passing the stick to the left hand because I am in the left side neutral bow. So I want to keep the weapon forward here, my advantage there. So keep that weapon side forward. Again, for purple belt, we're kind of focusing on speed, so we want to be able to speed things up. Of course, you don't want to take your time while their arm is there holding a weapon, a club in space, kind of figuring out how that works. So once you get the feel for it with the partner, you want to start speeding it up here. This punch knocking them off should quickly lead into this response here, which should then quickly lead into this. You don't have to give them a whole lot of time to adjust to those punches. And about the time it takes you to go from neutral bow, good solid pivot to forward bow, good solid pivot back to neutral bow again, that's enough time to get them high in the chin, middle mass, and then hit to the stomach, and then take their weapon as you start your cover out, right? So each movement is in conjunction with the pivot of your body, changing stance that way. So one more time, this is calming the storm. High, middle, low, disarm. Full cover out.